Today we are going to revise the poems, the art and the cricket as well as the geography lesson. Okay, so today we are going to start with the revision of the poems. So first of all, before we start, let me share with you the screen for the poem Art and the Cricket. So now it is visible on your screens. Okay, yes. Now let us start with the poem, revision of the poem. Now, what the poem The Art and the Cricket is all about. The poem Art and the Cricket, what it is about. The poem is about the rule of life, that one should be hardworking, one should be dedicated towards his work. Otherwise, if you are not dedicated, if you are not, you can say, sincere towards your work, you ultimately have to suffer. And this has happened in the poem with that of you can say cricket. Okay, cricket whose you can say common job was just to dance. He was just dancing, he was just enjoying the spring season when every you can say small creature, that is ants, they were trying to collect the grains. As they were trying to collect the grains, why they were collecting the grains? They were collecting the grains so that they can survive, they can live happily, they can live with their, you can say, stomachs full during the winter season. But the cricket, who was enjoying the weather, playing the violin as well as singing, he has not collected even a single grain. And because of it, what has happened, when the winter came away, he was shivering. He was not having a good house to survive. And moreover, he did not have even a single piece of grain on which he could survive. So for that, he went to the aunt's house in order to ask for help. But the aunts, who were very clear in their rules, who were very clear as well as in their principles, what they said that the aunts would never lend and the aunts would never, you can say, borrow from anybody. And this is what the poem is all about. Okay, so if you have any question, you can ask me side by side by raising up your hand. So now let us start with the poem, with the, you can say, explanation of the poem. So understand it clearly. So the poem is: a silly young cricket accustomed to sing through the warm, sunny months of gay summer and spring. It means that the cricket, who was accustomed, means whose common hobby or who was in the habit of only, you can say, singing. When he was singing when the warm as well as the sunny months of spring and summer were in vogue, they were in, you can say, full bloom. The flowers were in full bloom, and what he was doing, he was just enjoying the weather. And he began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. And at home, when he has come to know that now the winter has come and what has happened, there is nothing to eat for him in his, you can say, cupboard. He did not find anything. Winter has come. He did not have anything to eat. So at that time, what he was feeling sad. He was feeling sad because he was feeling, you can say, hungry. So not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground, and the entire ground, it was covered with snow. There was nothing to eat for him, not even a small piece of bread. Crumb means the hard, you can say, crust of the bread. It is called as crumb. But when these small pieces of, you can say, bread, they dry up, it is called as crumb. So not even a single piece of crumb could be found there. Not a flower could be seen and not a leaf on a tree. So because of winter, as the entire area, it has been covered up with snow. So there was not a, you can say, flower that could be seen. And there is also not even a single leaf on the trees. Because of the cold weather, because of the snow, the flowers, they have been shed apart from the trees. And moreover, the leaves, they have also been fallen or they have been detached from the trees. Oh, what will become, says the cricket of me. Now, cricket is worried at that condition. He was not worried when the weather was good. He was not at all worried about his future. But at this time, when he is suffering from problem, he thought, oh, what will become of me? Means he was thinking that what will happen to me because he has not collected even a single piece of grain. At last, At last, by starvation and famine made hold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, away he set off to a miserly aunt. So now when the winter season has come, so now what has happened? As the winter season has come and he has nothing to eat in his cupboard, he was he was suffering from starvation as well as famine means where there is shortage of grain. There were no grains to be found outside his house because all the area it was covered with snow and all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, and everyone they were, you can say, they were every all the trees means the snow, it was dripping from the branches of the trees, from the leaves, and every creature it was trembling with cold, okay, because it was intense cold. So they have been receded or they have been submerged in their houses only. And away he set off to a Mysilean. He thought and thought, now he thought that where he should go. So he thought that there is his friend aunt whose help he could seek. So he decided to go to aunt to see if to keep him alive he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. So he thought in order to save himself from this kind of weather, he thought that he should go to this aunt so that he could provide him some grain. Okay, so that he could provide him some grain and a shelter to live because he did not have his house where he could live satisfactorily. So what he thought that he should go to aunt so that he could provide him some shelter, and moreover, he was also thinking that the aunt would also provide him some grain so that he could survive. He wished only to borrow. He would repay it tomorrow. So what was his wish? He knew that if he will, you can say, if he will buy or if he will, you can say, borrow something, he will definitely have to repay it tomorrow. So he thought, he thought that he should borrow some grains from the aunts. Okay, so he decided to go to aunt and borrow some grains from the aunt. Now, if not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. But then he also thought that if he would not borrow, if he would not get any grain or if he would not get shelter, he would die of starvation because of shortage of food, and as well as he would die of this condition. So he decided to go to aunt. So let us see what the aunt will say. Says the aunt to Cricket, I'm your servant and friend, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. So, but the ant who were very wise creatures, those who are, you can say, you can say, strong and firm in their resolutions as well as in their principles. So what he said, of course, I'm your friend and servant. There is no doubt that am your friend, but actually we ants follow a particular rule. So what particular rule, that they follow was that, but we ants never borrow and we ants never lend. It is the rule that we ants never borrow from anyone and we ants also never lend anything to anybody else. Now, but tell me, dear Cricket, did you lay nothing? What is the meaning of did you lay nothing means? Did you not save anything? When the weather was warm, quoth means quoted. Quoted the cricket, not I. So here the aunt is asking the cricket that have you not saved anything when the weather was fine? When the weather was quite warm? And answer of the cricket was that no, I have not saved anything. My heart was so light that I sang day and night. My heart was so light means I was never worried. I was always in a mood of happiness as well as merrymaking. That I did not save any grain. I did not save anything during day and night. What he was doing, he told the aunt that I was only singing and singing. For all nature looked gay, you sang, sir, you say. And aunt said it means that during that time when the when the weather was fine, it was, you can say, it was summer season and spring season, and the weather was not more cold, and at that time you were feeling only happiness in your heart. And what you were doing? You were only singing and singing. Go then, says the aunt, and dance the winter away. Dance the winter away means now go. I will not lend you anything. I will not give you anything. And during this time, you can also, what you can do, you can also dance the winter away. Enjoy this winter season also, because we aunts never lend and we aunts never borrow. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket. Wicket means it is a stick. Okay, so the aunt, he picked up a stick and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. And now see, the aunt, they have pushed the cricket out of their houses. Folks call this a fable. I'll warrant it true. Some crickets have four legs and more have two. So now the poet is saying that people call it that this is a fable. So what is a fable? Fable is a story, okay, in which the animal characters are included. So what he said that yes, people call it as a fable, okay, but actually it is true to life also. It is the fact of life also. Why it is the fact of life? Because some crickets mean this is not reality of the life of the crickets, but it is also the life of what? It is also the life of the people who have two legs. Means this rule is applicable to human beings also. It means that if we won't be sincere in the work, if we won't do any kind of hard work, then ultimately what will happen? This will ultimately lead to problematic situation for us. So we should think about our future. We should always be worried about our future, and we should do and we should plan things accordingly, means according to our future, and should not be careless, as well as we should not neglect our problems as well as the situation. We should also prepare ourselves according to the situation. Okay, so this is the fable. Okay, now ultimately why this is called as fable? Fable is actually a story which contains the animal characters, and moreover it delivers a lesson in the end. So this poem, of course, it included the animal characters, that is the cricket and the aunt, and ultimately it is delivering us a moral at the end. Moral at the end means that we should be hardworking, we should be sincere towards our work. Okay, so this contains an idea that one should plan according to his future, and this is altogether given. And who has written this? It is adapted from Aesop's Fables. Okay, it is asked in papers that the name of the poem, you can write down Aesop's Fables. Okay, right? So this is all about the poem. We should know each and every line, that what is said by the aunt, what is said by the cricket, and ultimately what ultimately result it has brought to them. Okay, so this is what about we have studied, and next we are going to revise the poem, that is geography lesson. So the next poem is geography lesson. So geography lesson, in the poem geography lesson, who is the poet? The name of the poet is Zulfikar Ghosh. Okay, so as I told you that he is from Pakistan, but then afterwards he started living in America, in the US. So what this poem geography lesson is all about? The poem geography lesson is about the reality of life, that why human beings, they have built boundaries, why they have built territories. Ultimately, are they necessary for our life? So this concept, it is being presented by the poet here. He said that when he was flying in his jet overboard, everything was clear from the sky. It was clear that what kind of earth looked like. Why many of the, you can say, living, it is, you can say, it is always situated near the water resources, and why human beings, they have made different kind of plannings, but ultimately from the above everything looks so small. But the poet is saying at the end, but one thing, it was not at all clear from the sky, that why human beings have built boundaries, how they have find the reasons to hate each other. This is not at all clear from the sky when he was flying in his jet plane. So here goes the poem. When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. Now the poet is saying when his jet, it has flown above in the sky. He has come to know that he has also come to know that why human beings, they have planned this kind of area, they have planned this kind of land in which they were living. So seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile, there seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard. So when it has reached to the height of 6 inches, that everything, every large, you can say everything, it was just looking like that of 6 inches. It means when it has gone to a considerable height, it has gone to a height, so then everything which was, you can say, big as large piece of land, it was just looking as small as only a piece of 6 inches. And he said, and that land, it looked haphazardly. Human beings, they have tried their best to make this land, you can say, to make this land in a planned manner. But above from the sky, how it is looking? It is just looking haphazard. It was not at all planned. And unplanned and without style when the jet sprang into the sky. And what it was looking like? It was just looking like that. It was unplanned only. It was without any particular style. And when he has come to know about this, he has come to know about this when his jet, it has gone to a height above in the sky. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. So the poet is saying now when the jet, it has reached to a height of 10,000 feet. At that point, he said, now it is clear. What it is clear? That why the country, it means why most of the countries, they had different kind of cities, and why most of the cities, they are situated on the banks of the rivers. Why? It means why they are situated near the water valleys. Now, the logic of geography that land and water attracted man was clearly delineated. Delineated means clearly outlined. So from the height, it has turned out to be completely clear that why the population is thickly populated near the water resources. And the reason for this was that it was clearly outlined that because water is the basic necessity of human beings, and it is because of this reason that most of the population, it has been situated near the banks of the rivers. And the poet is saying this fact is also very much clear from the height when the jet, it has rose to the height. When the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round and that it had more sea than land. So now he has also observed that when the jet, it has rose to a height of 6 miles. So at that point, the poet is saying that it was also very much clear that what it was clear, that there is more land, that there is more sea than that of land, that most of the earth, what it was covered with, it was covered with water. So as you know that earth is 70% of water. So poet is saying, of course, from the height of 6 miles away from the earth, it has been clear that most of the earth, it is covered with what? It is covered with, it was covered with, you can say, that of water. And it was difficult to understand that the men on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities and to kill from that height. It was not clear why. And the poet is saying, but from that height, of course, it was clear. All these things were clear. What were the things that were clear? That why most of the cities, they have been situated near the water resources. That the earth is not so planned as it has been made by man. Next, it is also clear from the height that most of the earth, it is covered with water. But the poet is saying from that height, it is not at all clear that why the human beings, they have find reasons to hate each other, why they try to hate each other, to build walls across cities and to kill. From that height, it was not clear why they were building the walls, why they were separating each other, why they were, you can say, making territories. why they were making boundaries, it was not at all clear from that height. So the poet, as in the very simple format, he has brought about the connection between the earth as well as the height. But later on, he has come to an important point that why there are so much of hatred, so much of differences, and so many of, you can say, differences in their opinions. And this is the reason why what is the reason behind all this. This is the reason behind all this, that why human beings, they have, you can say, they have tried to hate each other. They are building boundaries, why they are creating these boundaries, why they are building walls, and why they are fighting the wars. From the height, it is not at all clear. So who is the poet of the poem? The poet of the poem is Zulfikar Bose. And what is the name of the poem? The name of the poem is Geography Lesson. So if the question will be there in exams, name the poem and the poet, you have to write down in complete line. The name of the poem is Geography Lesson, and the poet is Zulfikar Bose. For Ant and the Cricket, who is the poet? It is adapted from Aesop's Fables. Okay, so I hope that the poem is clear to you. Both the poems are clear to you. If you have any problem, now you can ask me. I will take the doubts now.